Toying Around Toys here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Hasbro G.I. Joe MEGO collaboration. This is Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. This is kind of a throwback to the classic style of action figures. Normally when I collect action figures, I do reviews of things that I want for my collection. This one I did purely for stop motion to try it out, and I'm very curious how I'm going to stop motion with it. All right, the bell is rung, so let's start the review. So as I mentioned, I primarily picked these guys up to do stop motions with. I think their joints look really clean and smooth, and then with the soft goods on them, I feel like I'm going to get some pretty good motion out of them. The stop motion to unbox them, their feet are a little bit flat, so it does make them wobble a little bit, but their joints are really stiff, so you could probably get some really good movements out of those. And the detail on them is surprisingly good for the arms and the hands. I really like these. The the joints on the shoulders are really good. The clicking is actually really good. So it's not as smooth, but for these, if you just do little motions on them, you can get really good stop motion uh, movements in between frames. The neck is just side to side, so it doesn't have any sort of neck articulation other than that. The knees really good, and then the leg, the calf just goes back and forth, which is pretty cool. And then Snake Eyes looks like it's about the same. They do have wrist articulation also, which is good. You can get for some really good sword fighting scenes with those. And just taking a closer look at the contrast of the details on his face, the fact that he's an all black figure and you could still make out that incredible detail is just a really good toy design. So even though I bought them for stop motion on clearance from Hasbro Pulse, I'm actually really enjoying the design on these. I might actually display them, which is really cool, for me at least. But now let's see him fight. All right, so my assessment of the stop motioning with them, it is kind of as good as I was expecting. Some things were a little bit harder than others. So having them on a flat surface where they're just facing each other, they were a little bit wobblier than some of the other Hasbro figures that I work with, like Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified. So that is going to be a little bit tougher. I know a lot of people use stands for their stop motions. These guys would probably work pretty well with the stand, at least holding their back or even on their feet. But I think what I'm going to try, probably with some of my later stop motions, is putting them on maybe a couch or another flat surface where they can actually lean on things as they move, just to keep their balance. It takes a little bit more planning, but I I think this'll work as I want it to. So I've got some ideas for them. So just taking a look at the accessories that they come with, actually some pretty cool accessories. So they got their backpacks because the GI Joe always has their backpacks, and it's got a little clip on the top that goes into their kind of sash belt thing. So there's no hole in their back. And then this is top secret. So we're going to open it anyway. Don't tell anyone. So we don't want to get in trouble. But we're in this together. So let's see what's in there. Now we're going to pour these out and see what sort of goods we have. All right, first thing out of the gate, or out of the box, I should say, is a pistol. That is Snake Eye's gun. So what I'm guessing is they're going to have the weapons that are what the originals came with, or at least reminiscent. We've got Storm Shadow's bow that just fell on the floor. My grip strength is not what it used to be. And then we've got a nice package wrapped up. So these are probably the more fragile weapons. I would say these are the swords based off of swords not coming out of the box yet. And we'll open these up, and we've got ourselves some swords. Great for fighting mostly. So we've got Storm Shadow's long sword, his short sword, and there's a spot on the back for them. So let's see them go in his backpack. They are very loose, so they will fall right out. So not a huge fan of that. If I have a weapon in a sheath on my figure, if he falls over, I don't want it to go flying. So I'll probably never put those in there. So they're either going to be put away if he's choosing another weapon and his backpack fell off. So I would say, beside it being top heavy and topple him over and not good for stop motions, the backpacks are probably not going to be displayed with them. But still happy that they came with them, because G.I. Joes and backpacks are a good thing. So we can probably fit his bow in there in the top. It's a hard piece of plastic, so it's got a little bit of bend to it. And then we've got this little baby sword. Storm Shadow one day does plan on having children, either a son or a daughter that he could pass his sword on to, but it's not good parenting to give them a full size sword. So you always start off a child with a baby sword, which is why he came with this. So really good storytelling with those. Then we have our nunchucks, which came with the original Storm Shadow, but his hands are full right now. So we'll just play with those with our Snake Eyes character. And let's see what else we got. We've got his little gun that goes into the spot on his leg, which is pretty cool. A nice snug fit. Unlike Storm Shadow's backpack where it's going to fall off, that can stay in there. That is a nice fit. Here's a throwing star. Not much we could do with those. It's clearly not going to fit in their hands, and there's no place on the body that I saw that it can go on. But we do have some bladed weapons, which really that's what Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are going to be fighting with. They're all about their blades. So we've got our two ninjas. They've got so many weapons. We can just have so many stop motions fights with these guys all over the place without their backpacks. Like I said, I enjoyed the backpacks coming with them, but they are not for me for my use case of these two figures. The nunchucks I think are awesome with the chain between them, much better than the recent G.I. Joe Classified nunchuck figure, which I just can't get over how poor that accessory is. And let's just pose them a little bit. They're gonna face off. These are awesome. I cannot wait to make some more stop motions fights with these two. It's gonna be a good time. And yeah, just push all their accessories so we can see them in all their glory. This is gonna be a good time. I don't know. I enjoy them. If you want them, Hasbro Pulse. They're on clearance. Thanks for watching.